Most of us are taught something very simple, that wanting to change how you feel is a problem, that intoxication is unnatural, that drugs create the desire. But when you look at biology, the story starts to fall apart. Animals deliberately seek altered states. Humans are wired for curiosity, novelty, and shifts in consciousness. And the same brain circuits that respond to drugs are the ones that respond to music, love, learning, and discovery. So the real question isn't why people seek intoxication. The real question is why we've been taught to see the impulse as a failure of character. Drugs and Addiction, an Anarchist Perspective, Dickie Dredd. And this is part 23. We're starting now chapter 3, which is the natural urge to alter consciousness. Section 21 in the book, the chemistry of curiosity. Every species experiments with its own awareness. Cats chase light and fool about with catnip. Elephants seek fermented fruit. Dolphins toy with a pufferfish to feel the brief shimmer of intoxication. Long before humans named their gods, life was already altering its state. The impulse to feel different is older than language itself, an evolutionary inheritance, not a moral defect. As Ronald Siegel observed, the pursuit of intoxication is a fourth drive, as natural as hunger, thirst, and sex. Evolution built pleasure into the system because survival alone was never enough. The organism needed curiosity to grow. Our bodies are laboratories of euphoria. Dopamine marks anticipation, endorphins dull pain, oxytocin rewards trust, a biochemical trinity that keeps a species social, creative, and alert. These substances are the mind's original drugs, proof that biology encourages expansion. They surge when we dance, fall in love, create art, or solve a problem. Altered states are not intrusions into nature, but its most eloquent expression. The brain rewards novelty because novelty teaches survival. What later became getting high became an adaptive mechanism, a way of testing boundaries without destroying them. Early hominids discovered this by accident and ritualized it by necessity. Night after night, flickering firelight and rhythmic chant coaxed trance from repetition. Fermented fruit lightened mood, drumming synchronized heartbeats into communal rhythm. The first ceremonies were neurological experiments, shared laboratories of awareness where story, movement, and sound dissolve fear. When consciousness expands, empathy follows. The tribe that danced together survived together. Pleasure was not indulgence, it was instruction. Through altered states, our ancestors rehearsed cooperation, encoded myth, and remembered belonging. The modern imagination prefers to see intoxication as deviation. It suits the narrative of civilization, reason against chaos, control against impulse. Yet the evidence runs the other way. Terence McKenna proposed that humanity's cognitive leap may have been catalysed by psychoactive plants, that the expansion of consciousness was not an accident, but a symbiosis. Even if metaphorical, his stoned ape theory captures an essential truth. Evolution rewards exploration. Each step towards awareness required risk, a small chemical gamble in the brain's reward circuitry. Without these experiments, the species might never have imagined fire, language, or mutual culture. This urge for expansion never vanished, it only changed costume. The child who spins until dizzy, the teenager who craves baselines, the scientist who loses track of time and data, all follow the same neural script. Curiosity, repetition, and reward form a loop older than morality. The movement from vigilance to exploration, described in earlier chapters, mirrors the species' own trajectory. From threat monitoring to world building. Addiction in that sense is not alien but ancestral. Curiosity turned inward. Exploration without context. Learning without integration. What was once adaptive becomes destructive only when stripped of meaning and community. Modern neuroscience supports what ritual long understood. A brain is built for modulation. Consciousness is not static but rhythmic. Every heartbeat, breath, and emotional surge shifts perception slightly. Psychedelics and stimulants simply exaggerate a process that already exists. The circuits that respond to substances are the same that respond to novelty, learning, and love. Barrett's work shows that emotion itself is prediction, the brain's ongoing simulation of safety and change. To alter consciousness deliberately is to participate consciously in that ancient simulation. Seen from this angle, the drive for intoxication is the drive for information. Each altered state provides new data about what a body can bear, what a mind can imagine. The species evolved not to stay balanced, but to oscillate, to test its own boundaries and return wiser. The pleasure principle, far from being indulgent, is a feedback loop between uncertainty and understanding. Altered states, used with intention, are extensions of the same system that built art, language, and empathy. They are rehearsals for transformation. To seek alteration, then, is to obey biology. To fear it is to misunderstand ourselves. Evolution equipped humanity not merely to endure consciousness, but to play with it. This is the foundation of both science and spirituality, the shared experiment of awareness. When we criminalise or moralise that impulse, we deny the very mechanism that made us human. The question is not why we seek to change our minds, but why we have been taught to be ashamed of doing so. The chemistry of curiosity is the chemistry of life, dynamic, adaptive, and always looking for more light. And tomorrow we'll move on to section 22, which is sacred chemistry, ancient uses and ritual meaning.